Well, it treats the person's vital force. Okay, we all have vital forces. So basically, again, it can be very complex. I don't want to get too complex here, but somebody could be fine, okay? But we're all susceptible to different diseases, okay? And we may come across that, you know, maybe certain even emotional problems. We're all susceptible based on our genetics, based on our parents and our grandparents and back, and there's things called miasms. And again, I don't want to really get into all that, but it could be something like your grandparent had tuberculosis. Okay, so all of a sudden now you maybe even skip a generation perhaps, and now you have a hyperactive child based on that going back then and being suppressed in the system of that grandparent who passed it on. And I mean, and there, obviously it gets, you know, you get certain beliefs, you get, you know, there's so much, again, there can be certain dogmas in homeopathy, there can be certain beliefs in homeopathy, but you're basically looking to keep the immune system or that person's vital force strong, okay, so that they're balanced, so that they're healthy, state of health.
Excellent. And a little bit about Bach flowers?
Bach flowers more so treat negative emotions, okay, in my experience. So something such as both, what I like about both systems there, the homeopathy and the Bach flowers, is it treats the whole person. Okay, I do believe Hahnemann and both Edward, if you want to say, I don't know if it's Bach or Bach, but they both said there is no such thing as disease, there are sick people. Okay, so when you look at it, it's just to challenge people's belief system. That's what I like presenting to people on the table is, I'm not here to, you know, prove anything scientifically, but I'm here to challenge the belief system. If what you're doing working, for example, if my grandmother's taking a medication and she claims that it's working, I just merely asked her, what happens if you stop taking your medication? Your problem comes back. So technically you can't call it a cure, right? You want to cure the problem, you want to balance the emotions. So in Bach flowers, you're looking, Bach was a people observer. So what he loved doing was actually observing people and their behaviors. How did they behave? How did they act? For example, when you're sick, okay, certain people don't come near me. I'm going to go in my room, I'm going to close the door, I'm going to shut the blinds, leave me alone until I'm better. There's other people that can't get enough attention and sympathy. Oh, I'm sick, I'm sick, I'm sick. And I mean, again, it's not a judgment, it's merely an observation. So what kind of emotions are you putting out there? What kind of flowers are you needing to balance your emotions at that point? Bach flowers is a little bit different again because it's for more so to deal with, I guess, the emotions that are presently happening. I think I read, which I really like that phrase, which if you have a knot, okay, it's used to untie the knot. Once the knot is untied, you don't keep untying the knot. It's already untied. So you stop the treatment of the Bach flowers until something else arises.
Fantastic. And suppose if someone has a sense that something's wrong or they know something's wrong, can they just take a remedy prescribed by a professional and heal? Or is there a lot more layers involved with the process of healing, such as diet, exercise, etc.?
It's a good question. Again, balance is huge. So it's a hard one to definitely say yes or definitely say no, because I mean, knowing what I know and knowing how important diet is as well. I mean, obviously, if you're consuming the wrong type of foods, that can contribute to some of your problems as well. But can a homeopathic remedy be given without anybody doing anything? If you look at the acute conditions, such as poison ivy again, nobody has to do anything. You're given the remedy and obviously it works. You're given the correct remedy, okay? Then it obviously works. Just like with children and pets, you give them the correct remedy because it's safe for both, it works. It's just getting to the correct remedy. So you're looking at that individual, that uniqueness of that individual to lead you to the correct remedy.
Amazing. The case history that you take must be complex.
It can be. It can be. It depends, again, what you're treating. I mean, you don't want to make it complicated, but you want to definitely get, you want to get the whole health history of that individual and their life. And there are certain things that people don't wish to share, but I have actually personally seen that after given a remedy, they may open up at the follow-up visit, maybe the second or the third follow-up visit, and actually open up more, and you see a bit of a shift, and you see more come out, and you see more that they want to express. Certain things shift and new symptoms maybe come up if you are giving them the correct remedy.
When you say remedy, now the remedies are made from pretty much anything, is that right?
Yes, I do believe that there's probably currently about 5,000 remedies. I could be wrong. We can't forget, though, it all started back with the polycress, and you know what I mean. People are constantly, which is amazing. But yes, remedies are basically, they come from your plant source, they come from animal sources, and they come from mineral sources. They basically come from pretty much anything.
And does each individual person say, because you're a professional, when you meet people, do you say, oh, there's a poinsettia, or do people have things that you pick up straight away, or is it just so variable?
Again, there's a uniqueness. I mean, technically, it's definitely, Hahnemann's big thing was being unbiased. I mean, it's nice to have a remedy picture in your mind, but it has to be unbiased and no judgments. I mean, I think being humans, our constant thing is, maybe our belief systems creep in and say, oh, maybe this, or, and you want to, but you literally have to be sitting there and you have to listen. The biggest thing is listening to that person. They're trying to tell you something. They're pointing you in the right direction. And it's really about listening to them. It's about perceiving them and what they're trying to come across. Because again, with people and healing, sometimes that's why I say health is awareness. How can you change something about yourself when you have no idea that you perhaps maybe do something? Okay, physical ailments is one thing, but maybe there's something on a level where somebody points something out to you, okay? And then somebody all of a sudden, and I know in the past I've done it myself. Well, you do this. And then all of a sudden you get defensive. No, I don't. Or do I? Really? And then it gets you thinking, but it's like, wow. Like, I love it because it can actually shift a person to, that can actually shift as well, which is awesome.
So, if people want to do a transformation, they might be happily married, everything seems perfect in their life, but they have that niggling feeling like, I want more in life. Would homeopathy be able to help, even if they don't have a physical ailment or a mental ailment or an emotional ailment? Could they come in and say, look, I want to be the best I can be. Is there anything that you can do for me?
Well, I mean, it depends on the person's needs again. I don't want to exclude anybody. Usually people come to a homeopath because obviously they're looking for something. Everybody has a vital force, and everybody has miasms, and everybody, everybody could benefit from homeopathy, absolutely. But it's a matter of what you want to get out of it, right? Sometimes what happens too is with any kind of natural healing is after they've gone through the other treatments and they're not getting success maybe, or what they're hoping for, then sometimes, at the end of the stick, sometimes that's when people use it as a last resort. And I mean, we can only do what we can do at that point. I mean, you can't promise anybody the stars at that point, right? I mean, you can do what you can do to make it comfortable for a person, to balance them out again, to do whatever's meant to happen is going to happen, basically.